Hello friends, my name is Lily and I'm coming to you from the Hazel Village photo studio here in our Brooklyn, New York workshop. It's the end of the day, I'm just about the last one here. It's a very rainy Brooklyn evening outside, but I wanted to tell you about the project I'm working on in this video, which is a new photo set for the animals. You can see they've got this little cubby right now. When we moved in to our new workshop about a year ago, my boss Jane had the idea to build a little cozy cottage set in this photo cubby that was already here, which was a great idea, and it's been really fun. It's been a great way for us to play with the different kind of photos of the animals in their little cottages, but it has some problems that I think we can improve on. So number one problem is that it's really just too shallow. It's not quite big enough. You would think that because the animals are small, they don't need that big of a house, but when it comes to taking pictures, more space is definitely better. And it's also a little bit far away from the windows, so we can't get the best natural light in here. It's not great that it's closed on 3 sides. It would be easier if it had one of those sides open, because it's tricky to get the right angles that my coworker Maddie needs for photography. So I have a lot of ideas for how we can make it a better space, and I'm really excited to show you guys and build the new one. So let's get started. Okay, it's time for this guy to go to a new home. But Maddie still needs a cubby, so I'm replacing it with this. All right.
I'm using beadboard for this project, which is typically used in wainscoting. It's like a decorative accent, kind of like a small piece of wall paneling. But Jane really likes it, and we had a bunch of it in the old workshop. If you've been around for a while, you might remember it from the photos that we would take when Hazel Village was in our other tiny workshop for a long time. It's a really nice neutral backdrop that has some texture to it, so I thought it would fit in well for the animals' little interior. And I had to buy like a humongous sheet of it for this, but I'm only cutting pretty small panels, so we have a bunch extra, which is going to come in handy because I think Maddie has missed taking pictures with that in the background. So I'm going to ask Zach to help me mount it up on the wall in the photo studio, and I think you might start to see some more pictures coming out with that in the background. I pushed my pencil too hard and it rolled like straight to the edge of the table, and I was sure it was going to fall off. But then it didn't.
That was harder to cut. But it smells really good because this is a pine board, so it smells like Christmas trees now. Present trees. This is the last real board that I have to cut. And it needs to be 36 by 9 inches. Oh shoot, I should have measured it on the other side. I can cut it over here. This is what I can do. I'm using my big brain. I don't know if this footage is particularly usable, Maddie. It's just me sawing miserably. This isn't great. It's a very long piece of trim. Wow! Kind of a 45-degree angle. Trying to remember how to use this miter box to get a 45-degree angle. Okay. You see that? 45-degree angle. Now it's that's pretty cool. Okay.
Once everything was cut, I sanded all the edges, and then I painted the beadboard panels, which this really does not show up on camera at all, but I promise in person it made a difference. They're a really stark white when you get them from the store, and I just painted a little bit more of an ivory on top, and it in person, you can tell, I promise.
Okay, here before you, you see the new home for our little cottage set, which is this beautiful, majestic industrial rolling cart. So I have the pieces that I took apart from the old set. This big floorboard unit is going to go right here. And then I cut a piece yesterday to put in front of it. Here we go. And I need to make a bunch more floorboards, carve them, stain them, install them, put this together, attach these two pieces of wood. And then the walls that are going in are these beadboard panels that I cut yesterday. We've got, there's a ding on one end of one of these, it's down here. Gonna have this back wall, and then another one along the side here, so that the front and the side are open so that Maddie can get all the angles that she needs for photography. But it's gonna be a nice neutral backdrop, because the wallpapers were really cute in the old set. I did like them a lot, but they were not very practical because you couldn't hang anything on them. One thing we really want to do with the new set is I want to put up some nails so that we can actually hang different wall decor for the animals, and it won't be just stuck up with tape that will fall down in 2 seconds. So walls need to go in, and then this is the old ceiling panel, so I need to extend it just like with the floor, and that'll go in on top of the walls. And then we'll have a cozy little room. Lots to do. Let's get started.
I got a bunch of these thin craftwood strips at my local art supply store in my neighborhood, and I'm cutting them to be all different lengths, working my way down the board so that they all fit neatly, but the ends of the boards don't meet in the same place, to give that kind of varied floorboard effect that you would see in an old house. I added some brackets to the back to secure these pieces together. And then I used my X-Acto knife to taper the edges of each of the boards and to add some nicks into the ends. And this might seem like a lot of effort to go to, but you can really tell the difference when you put the untrimmed board next to the board that I carved a little bit. It just looks so much more like a worn cottage floor that people have been walking on for years. And I wasn't originally planning to do this, but when I made the floorboard units, you know, like last year, Jane really encouraged me to be more ambitious with it, to not just take the simplest route. And at first I thought I was going to be like way too much work and just silly, but she was completely right. It's really worth it. It makes a big difference to make it more naturalistic looking. So I'm gluing all of those pieces down with wood glue. And then I'm marking where the nails are going to go, 2 nails on the end of each board. And I drilled just really tiny little pilot holes with the drill. This was probably unnecessary, but I just didn't want the boards to risk splitting when I nailed the nails in. So I went over with teeny tiny little nails and nailed in the ends of each of the boards. Oh, hey Gwendolyn, what's up? Oh, yeah. Is that not the right color? Yeah, I was afraid of that. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, what a good solution. What would I do without you, Gwendolyn? Okay, so here's what happened. Last year, when I made the original wood floorboards, I used this DIY wood stain thing that Maddie's roommate Benji made, which was like incredible. It was just this like vinegar and steel wool solution that naturally aged the wood and gave it this gray tone. And I was just planning on using more of the same, but then I guess it sat around for a year, and because it's like not a real stain, it had some kind of chemical change happen where then when I stained the new part, it just turned red. Which is not right. So I sanded down a little bit of that, and then I bought like an official wood staining gray tone stain from the hardware store, and I'm applying that now. Now this was like a decent match, but I definitely didn't do the most professional application. There were places where the stain went on too heavy and it was too opaque, like you could see too much gray color sort of sitting on the surface. So once I let this stain dry, I did go back in and sanded down the top layers where it's really thick and gray. And to kind of solve that problem, I mixed a brown paint that matches the wood tone of the original floorboards. And then I majorly watered it down and painted just a couple of thin layers of that watered down brown tone on top of the gray stained boards. On camera, it actually looks like a really good match. In person, it's not quite that perfect of a match, but I think it's fine. It's kind of just like if you really did refinish part of your house's floorboards at one point, it might kind of look something like this. So I don't think the animals will mind. For the ceiling beams, again, I'm using just craft wood from the art supply store. These ones are a little bit narrower and thicker, so they're more like a thick ceiling beam that you might see in an old house. But I still tapered down the edges the same way to give them a more worn, aged quality. And then I was trying to secure the new extension panel to the original panel in a way that would work because the wood I used is too thin to screw through, but I had some trouble. So yeah, that kind of fell apart a few times, but eventually I sort of rigged it in a way that it was relatively stable. And then I just glued down the beams with wood glue, and I was really careful here to use like as little wood glue as possible, because when you're wood gluing something and then you're going to stain on top of it, any place where there's wood glue that leaks out, the stain is not going to adhere to. So I tried to be really minimal and clean. And then I took just this kind of classic dark brown stain and went over the new part of the ceiling.
Sorry if you heard me singing Oliver out here earlier.
What is?
I said sorry if you heard me singing Oliver out here earlier because I didn't think there was anyone around. I've realized a problem, and I'm bringing Raquel in to consult and give me her opinion.
Hello.
Okay, Raquel, here's the problem. Looks good, right? That's not the problem. This is the problem. When I put the ceiling on, it gets very dark. And it's so, like with the new, like the deeper ceiling, it's so shadowed that I feel like if Maddie's gonna ever use it, she's gonna need to whip out the studio lights,
Yeah.
which I know is
Okay, so if I were
a
Maddie,
thing, yeah.
lift it up. Or take it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Okay, now put it back. It's not as bad. It's not that bad.
Okay. Do you think it's the coziness that it adds? Do you think it's worth it for the extra hassle?
I
from
do think it is,
everything?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially because, okay, if you were right.
Did she fall?
Gwendolyn fell. She also has her legs split right now.
That's okay.
And I think like if we were to turn and have like the natural light coming this way.
I tried pulling it over to the window and it works, but it does get cut off at a certain point. So like the natural
Yeah.
light doesn't come into the back of the space because it is so deep.
It's also very, like when we naturally brighten everything up, it'll make the shadows less intense.
Okay.
The thing that's annoying is like Maddie's gonna have to take all the photos like this, but
Yeah.
no, it adds so much.
It's worth
Yeah,
it.
it's
Okay,
worth
good.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it makes it look like a space.
Yeah. Whereas if we did it like this, we could just we could just crop it so the ceiling's always out.
No,
But,
that's
like,
not as fun.
Having a ceiling really makes it feel like a room. She
Yeah.
really is doing the splits.
Yeah, no, it's necessary.
Okay, cool. Thank you for
The
giving
miniatures at the Art Institute of Chicago, that room.
counsel. Yeah.
Highly recommend going to the miniatures room at the Art Institute of Chicago.
We'll put in some pictures.
Of the pictures of the Shaker house that I took for you.
Yeah, which is very inspiring for this project. I'm not going to do the trim because I don't feel like it. I'm going to do the trim later when I make the window, and then it'll be two blue things going in at once.
Oh, cool.
But look, the nails.
But yeah, the ceilings were so important
Yeah.
to like.
Yeah.
And I think when we do the, I don't know, it feels cozy.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very much. That means I didn't waste my time. Okay. Time to install it, and then I'm done. Lisa, can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
Can you come just like hold this for a second?
Of course.
And here. Not here, because I miss your hair. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video, friends. I'm really excited to show you more projects like this in the future. The next one I planned, when I have time, is I'm going to make a little window for the animals, because when you have a cozy cottage, you need a cozy window. So I hope to see you then. Take good care.